Before I get going on the Ole Miss game, I just want to make one point here. So I've known Coach Beard for a decent while. I've known Coach Donwall for a long time. I know the staff pretty well. Matter of fact, Coach Beard ended my Buffalo career, beat me in the NCAA tournament my last year there, and they beat us pretty soundly. He does a great job. But one point, because I think he's like more than a better coach. I respect him greatly. So I don't want to talk about the Bediako situation tonight. Everybody knows my feelings on it. So we're going to keep the questions to basketball tonight. But the one thing I will say is Charles is a great kid. Everybody knows that. Everybody who knows him has coached him at any level. And some of the opposing coaches understand that we are dealing with a human, a young man that obviously is disappointed. And, the system's broken as we know it, and he's a victim of a broken system. But he's still a human and a young man. So on my drive, we drove over on the bus. On my drive over yesterday afternoon, I get a call from Coach Beard. Hey, Oats, Beard. It's like, hey, I said, what's up? He goes, is Bediako with you? I said, no, we decided to leave him home. We didn't want him to have to go through the stuff he's had to go through on the road. And he said, look, I assure you that's not happening here. I've already met with the cheering section. Everything's going to be positive here. You won't get any of that here. So major respect to him for that. And then he said, I also got something I want you to give him. And he came to our shoot-around last night, handed me a note that I've kind of opened, took a picture, sent it to Charles. I'll give it to him in person when we get back. It was one of the most classy notes to a kid from an opposing coach, and it doesn't happen often, but one of the classiest moves I've ever seen. And he didn't do it to get any recognition, and that's not, he assumed I would just hand it to Charles, be it. But it basically, on the other side of adversity and difficulty is what fuels you on to success, and wish him success. He's pulling for him. It's not his fault that that there's no clarity in the rules. And I thought it was a extremely well-written, thoughtful thing for an opposing coach to do that understands that we're still coaching young men, and this is not a object we're dealing with. It's a young man with a basketball career in front of him, with an educational career in front of him, and Coach Beard understands it, and you guys are super lucky to have him as your coach here at Ole Miss, for you guys that are from Ole Miss, and I respect Coach Beard a lot. So, all right, on to the game. Ole Miss, for a team that played 4 straight road games, is on a losing streak. I thought they had them ready to go. Defensively, they did a great job on us early in the game. We're a tough team to guard, and they did a great job. We didn't get any kind of flow on offense for the first 10, 12 minutes of the first half. I thought our defense was good enough to keep us within striking distance. I don't think the lead ever got over 9. So credit to our defense to keep us in the game. I thought we closed the first half on a pretty good run there to close, and then obviously we started the second half. We've had issues with starts, but I thought as the ball moved quicker and better, shots went in more. It's a novel concept. Like, you get better ball movement and your shooting percentages go up. So I thought, and then defensively, they were really carving us up out of timeouts. We didn't do it. It seemed like they scored on every single after timeout set. I thought we did a pretty good job. Our Coach Adams that runs our defense, not their Coach Adams. Brian Adams did a great job adjusting, cross-matching, switching some stuff to kind of take away some of those lobs and stuff they were getting out of timeout. So I thought our guys did a good job adjusting on the fly, how to guard it. Super happy for Wright. So when we got the news that Charles won't be able to play, and we knew we were going to have to go back to playing smaller at the 4 and not having as much depth in the interior, we really couldn't afford to play the 3 guards together, 1, 2, 3. We're able to do that when you've got 2 7-footers at the 4 and 5. Now that we have more like a wing at the 4, one of those guys had to come out of starting lineup. And Reitzel stepped up, willing to do it. Like, I got no problem. All I care about is winning. And then I think I had Coach Murphy from the softball team talk to our team last week about Mudita. I just get the feeling when you do things like that you get rewarded for it, and he got rewarded in a big way. So Volunteers come out of the starting lineup, and he ends up leading us in scoring, goes 7 of 13. When you're about the right stuff, good stuff happens to you. So I couldn't be happier for him after, him volunteering. And shoot, out of those three guards, he ends up leading us in minutes. You just, you come in, you play well, both sides of the ball. I thought he did a pretty good job. So a lot of stuff to be happy about. Most assists we've had in the SEC game. I thought we moved the ball pretty well. Late first, early second, the entire second half, and shots started going. And, lot to build off here, particularly the last 30 minutes of this game.
Charlie. I know this is the first game without Charles, but what did you feel like, or what did you think of the way that the front court played, especially Aiden Stroud?
Aiden leads us in plus minus with plus 23 as 15 and 6. 2 blocks. I mean, Aiden's been pretty good all year. We were trying to do a better job resting him when we could. We'd like to play him closer to 30. I think we were able to, and they went real small late, which took away some of his minutes, and we just didn't play a big at all. So he was probably turning more towards 30 minutes if they would have stayed with a traditional lineup. So happy with Aiden. Shoot, Noah's going to have to give us some good minutes. I thought he had a great screen to get his shooter open. I thought he gave us some real good minutes on there. He had a steal on defense. So Noah played well. And then Taylor, hopefully that 3 hit late kind of gets him going. We need him to kind of give us that small ball fight. But I did think the switching, I thought our guards did a pretty good job fighting their bigs sometimes inside on the switching, which we're going to have to do a little bit more of probably without when Aiden's out of the game.
Yeah, back to Reitzel, just how have you seen him kind of battle through these injuries throughout this season, especially coming off of the one against Auburn, and just how much does it change things for you guys when he's out there?
So it's obviously frustrating as a player to put as much time and effort as he does into his game and then just have the rash of random odd injuries. It's just been one thing after another. So a month or so ago, I gave him a copy of the book, The Obstacle's the Way, from Ryan Holiday. Great book if you haven't read it. Shoot, our whole team probably needs to read it with what we've had to go through this year with everything. But we've just tried to dive into handling adversity. Book of James in the Bible talks about enjoying your trials. Like, I talked about that with him and the team. It's like, yeah, we've been put through some adversity. Like, a lot of guys injured. He probably at the top of the list. So I think he's just been very mature, continues. Obviously, you see the frustration when he goes out of the games. I thought he was ready to play at Auburn. He goes out, can't play the rest of the game. But right back in the training room, getting his rehab back in, and he looked great tonight. So, I pray that he stays healthy the rest of the year because this is a really good basketball player that has missed games and some of our losses. And, when we don't have him, we miss him a lot. So hopefully we can keep him because it's really a basketball player, as you saw out there tonight. But I think his mentality to handle the adversity that he's been put under has been really good and a testament to some of the young guys that have had to handle a little adversity, maybe not quite as much as him, but they've had to handle some too.
Maybe not asking about Bediako at all, but just the fact that there's been all this stuff swirling around your team. How did you think your team's mental approach was today?
I thought it was pretty good, and I addressed that with them. Like, it's not the first time we've had stuff swirling around our program. What you've got to do in life, anything, when there's distractions, you just got to focus on everything you have full control over. We don't have control over what other people say, what the judge rules, no control over that. So time wasted on what coaches, reporters, judges, attorney, whatever, whoever it is, waste of time. So let's get focused. Some more adversity to face. We've had injuries, some more adversity. Thought we were going to have him the rest of the year. Don't have him. Let's lean into the adversity. Let's let it make us. I gave the guys a quote the other day, and I can't even remember who it's from, but it was pretty good. It's bad teams or organizations face adversity, and it ruins them. Good teams handle adversity, and they survive it. Great teams and organizations face adversity and thrive off it. Like, they use it to make them better. I said, we're trying to be great. We got to use it. Maybe this will make us scrappier, tougher. No, we got to play harder. We don't have the rim protector back there we thought we were going to have all the time. At least not two. Rel's been pretty good himself. So let this make us better. Let's not survive it. Let's not let it ruin us. Let's make this thing send us on an upward spiral. So that's what we've tried to lean into these last few days.
Yeah, with 3 wins in a row, your longest win streak in SEC play, do you think you guys are kind of building some momentum here?
I sure hope so. I mean, I think we're playing better. The ball's moving a lot better. The defense has picked up intensity. I think our leadership's understanding what's expected out of this program and where the expectations are and where we got to get this thing to. So, we've got a 3-game win streak. We got a home game Saturday. Chance to get another win at home and get 4-game win streak. We got to just keep rattling them off one at a time. It does no good to look past the next game, and we just got to focus on everything we got full control over, our preparation, our effort in the game. We're nowhere close to being healthy yet, even though we had everybody. I mean, you saw Taylor. He's not himself. Trellis was pretty good tonight, but he's got, these guys got to dive into the rehab with Clark. As coaches, we got to be smart with our practices and time on feet, and we got to control everything we got control over. We got to use the mental reps a lot more because we're not going to be able to give as many physical reps as normal team would at this point, and we got to keep our guys healthy and just keep building momentum off this. So, yeah.